So as you all know, the mid-range smartphone market becomes a lot more competitive each year. Not only are these smartphones becoming ever more powerful, but they also pack a lot more features as well. But best of all, the prices aren't going up by that much, making it still attainable for buyers who are of a bit on a budget. With the launch of the new Honor 200 5G series, the list just got a lot more serious. And the question is though, how does it stand up against some of the phones that were introduced earlier? What's up guys, Say here from Yugatech, and in this video we'll be putting up the new Honor 200 Pro up against the realme GT6, the brand's return to the GT series. On paper, both of these phones have similar specs: Snapdragon 8s Gen 3 chipset, a capable triple rear camera system, and fast SSD storage. The price point is where things different though. The realme GT6 retails for 34,999 pesos, while the Honor 200 Pro is priced at 29,999 pesos. But does more expensive mean better? Let's find out in this comparo video. So roll that OBB and let's get started. Let's start with the design of both these phones, and the Honor 200 Pro and the realme GT6 couldn't look worlds apart. In fact, you can easily tell which one is which based on the unique styling of the back panels of each phone. With the realme GT6, the triple rear camera is located on the upper left corner of the back panel. But what makes it unique is that the camera island extends to the entire width of the back panel. And it also has a mirror finish. This design cue supposedly helps users take Gen Z selfies since you can see yourself and your friends using the mirror. The only downside is that the mirror portion can get very dirty, and it isn't really the most smudge resistant. As for the rest of the back panel, Realme decided to keep it clean on the GT6 with just the Realme logo on the lower left portion. It also has a nice glossy finish which is somewhat more smudge resistant as compared to the top portion. Not to mention this fluid silver color looks really great with the mirror finish of the camera island. In comparison, the Honor 200 Pro doesn't have a mirror finish similar to the GT6 for taking Gen Z selfies. Instead, Honor decided to give the phone a two-tone-like design, with one portion being glossy and the other portion being matte. The unit we have comes in ocean cyan, which looks really pretty. Since a big portion of the phone is finished in this somewhat matte finish, this makes it nice to hold, especially if you aren't using it with a case, and it also makes the back panel relatively smudge resistant. However, the glossy portion of the phone though isn't as smudge resistant, especially if you're very OC, so you might find yourself wiping that portion down quite often. With that, I must say, both phones are on equal ground here. Style is subjective after all, and I'm not sure everyone will find a use for the mirror rear finish of the realme GT6. In terms of protection, both phones come with an IP65 rating for dust and water resistance. So in the design and construction aspect, I'll say it's a tie. Moving on, we go to the part of the phones you'll be looking at the most, the display. Starting with the realme GT6, you're greeted by a 6.78-inch LTPO AMOLED display with HDR10 Plus and even Dolby Vision to match. Not to mention, you won't have any issues when using the realme GT6 under the sun since it has a maximum peak brightness of 6,000 nits. Gamers will also enjoy playing on this phone since it does have a 120Hz refresh rate to match. Even when you're not playing games, you get smooth animations when you're going through the menu, social media, or watching your favorite movies or series. Speaking of watching videos, you also get dual stereo speakers that can play high-res audio for better audio quality and more immersive sound experience. And I'm sure you audiophiles will enjoy this. It's also well protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, protecting the screen from any scratches. You also have really nice slim borders all around, giving you a lot more screen to work with. In comparison, the Honor 200 Pro comes with the same 6.78-inch display but uses a regular OLED panel. It's also limited to just HDR, but you also do get 120Hz refresh rate, giving you smooth animations all around whether you're watching videos or playing games. It does lack screen brightness when compared to Realme GT6, rated at only 4,000 nits, but still, that's more than enough for bright summer days. When you're watching videos, you also have dual stereo speakers to work with. However, there's no mention of tuning. But from our ears, the speakers are loud and do have decent quality. Unlike the realme GT6, Honor did not mention any protection for the screen of the 200 Pro. But it does seem relatively tough since I did have this phone in my pocket together with my main phone, and surprisingly the screen did not pick up any scratches. So yeah, it's somewhat tough. Overall though, I have to give a point to the realme GT6. Not only does it have a brighter screen, but the colors look a lot more vivid and you get deeper blacks thanks to the better panel. It's also better protected with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. But that's not to say the display of the Honor 200 Pro is bad though. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, especially when reviewing all the photos I took with the camera. With that, let's move on to the cameras of the phone. Arguably, the cameras on these phones are some of their strongest suits. The realme GT6 is equipped with a triple camera system highlighted by a 50 megapixel main shooter that uses Sony's LYT-808 sensor and also comes with PDAF and OIS. The main shooter is supported by a 50 megapixel telephoto running a Samsung JNS sensor with PDAF and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. If you want to take regular selfies instead of using a Gen Z selfie with the mirror, you have a 32 megapixel front camera with Sony's IMX615 sensor. In terms of videos, the realme GT6 can shoot up to 4K at 60 FPS maximum. Just like the realme GT6, the Honor 200 Pro also comes with a triple rear camera. The 50 megapixel main shooter uses the super dynamic H9000 sensor, which is a very capable sensor. It also comes with PDAF and OIS. In addition, you also get a 50 megapixel telephoto with Sony IMX856 sensor and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide. For the selfie lovers, you have a 50 megapixel front camera. For video, the Honor 200 Pro can also record content up to 4K at 60 FPS. And considering how capable the cameras are on both of these phones, you can expect sharp and clear photos at all times. You can also shoot almost all subjects you can think of given the wide range of lenses you have at your disposal. And if you take a look at the sample photos we were able to capture, it's kind of hard to tell which one is which if you didn't really see the watermark. The subjects end up sharp and there isn't any drop in quality even when you zoom up to 5x or more. Unfortunately though, both smartphones don't have the best ultra-wide, especially when you compare it to the main shooter or when you're using the telephotos. Perhaps the biggest advantage the Honor 200 Pro does have over the realme GT6 is the use of AI. Not only does it help in stabilizing photos and videos, but it also improves your night shots. You get more even highlights and shadows rather than one overpowering the other. It's a similar story when you check out the video. So with that, we'll have to give it to the Honor 200 Pro this round. The AI algorithm helps a lot in giving it a slight edge over the realme GT6. Still, it was a very close fight since the realme GT6 has very capable cameras as well. Under the hood of both these phones, as I mentioned earlier, the Honor 200 Pro and the realme GT6 pack the same chipset, the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. Both phones also come with 12GB of RAM. The main difference would be the storage option. In the Philippines, the realme GT6 is only available at 256GB of internal storage, while the Honor 200 Pro comes with 512GB. They're both UFS 4.02, so you get faster loading times as well. So on paper, they should offer the same performance, right? Well, interestingly, that isn't the case. The realme GT6 posted higher benchmark scores on Antutu, rated at 1.5 million, compared to the Honor 200 Pro, which only hit close to 1.2 million. It's surprising considering both phones have the same chipset and RAM. But aside from the Antutu benchmark, the rest of the benchmark scores seem to be a close match. There's no clear indication that one phone is really performing better than the other. And as you can see from the benchmark scores right here. But benchmark scores are just one thing. In real-world settings, they can easily run graphic-intensive titles without any issues. One possibility we could think of why the Honor 200 Pro might not be performing as well as the realme GT6 is that the system has yet to be updated. For reference, the benchmark scores on the Honor 200 Pro were run before the phone officially debuted in the country. And yes, this video was shot before the Honor 200 Pro officially launched. For now though, the realme GT6 takes the point in this category, but maybe in the future. Who knows? Speaking of OS, both phones run on Android 14. The realme GT6 comes with Realme UI 5.0, while the Honor 200 Pro uses Magic OS 8.0. While the Realme does have a lot more bloatware pre-installed, it does come with some quirky AI features. These include AI Smart Loop, AI Smart Removal, and AI Night Vision Video. On the Honor 200 Pro, there is barely any bloatware apart from the native Honor apps, but you don't have the same AI features as the GT6. You have the usual smart sidebar, floating windows, and more. Hopefully, they do update the OS in the future to have more AI features as well. In terms of battery, the Realme GT6 does have the bigger battery out of the box compared to the Honor 200 Pro. The former uses a dual-cell 2750 mAh battery to produce a total of 5500 mAh, while the latter uses a 5200 mAh battery pack. No doubt though, they have larger battery packs compared to most flagship models that are rated at 5000 mAh. Thanks to its larger battery, the Realme GT6 managed to last 17 hours and 16 minutes using the PC Mark battery test. Meanwhile, the additional 200 mAh on the Honor 200 Pro didn't seem to help too much as it only lasted 12 hours and 28 minutes. The Realme GT6 also has faster charging speeds with up to 120 watt fast charging using the supplied break-in cable. Charging on the Honor 200 Pro is also fast with 100 watt fast charging though. In terms of connectivity, the Realme GT6 has the advantage here as well with support for Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.4. Meanwhile, the Honor 200 Pro is limited to dual band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.3. With that, we'll be giving this point to the Realme GT6. So after everything we talked about, you might think that the Realme GT6 is the better phone in this comparison, apart from the camera and the larger storage option of the Honor 200 Pro. But there is one topic that we have to talk about once again, the price. The Realme GT6 is a tad bit more expensive at 34,999 pesos for the 12 plus 256GB variant compared to the Honor 200 Pro's price tag of just 29,999 pesos for the 12 plus 512GB variant. With that, you do have to factor a lot of things when you're considering both of these phones. Do you want a phone with a better camera but you're willing to sacrifice on battery life and a bit of performance? Or would you rather something that does everything better overall but you do have to shell out a bit more cash? Both of these are decent mid-range smartphones after all. Whatever you pick, at the end of the day, the choice is yours. But who do you think wins this round of our comparo video? The Realme GT6 or the Honor 200 Pro? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, do drop a like and subscribe to watch more. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And of course, visit ukatech.com to stay updated with the latest tech news and reviews. Speaking of reviews, you can also read up on our reviews of the Realme GT6 and the Honor 200 Pro, which are now live on the Ukatech website. Once again, this has been Saya, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!